various IRDAI rules governing three documents, the CIS, EIA, and the proposal document. And they all have certain things in common, right? They require verifiable consent. They require certain mandatory details to be filled in. And for the CIS and proposal, they also need to be in vernacular. So what exactly is the issue with the status quo, right? For CIS, I mean, it's slightly different for each document. For CIS, it's a forgotten document. It is sent with the proposal. Most insurers send it with the proposal. But the insurer usually never collects the customer acknowledgement on the CIS, right? This is despite the IRDAI requiring customer acknowledgement on CIS specifically as a mandatory requirement. And in fact, if you see the IRDAI CIS template in the annexure, right, it actually requires a signature as the mode of acknowledgement. So most insurers don't, of course, do this because I think IRDAI itself does not enforce this much. However, if they do start enforcing it, most insurer requirement is vernacular, right? So to do this, you need something like a language select screen similar to an ATM. Each language select screen should be mapped to a workflow containing the document kit of that language. So when the customer selects a language, it should trigger that specific workflow. And then, of course, the customer sees both the document and the interface in vernacular. Third step is an authentication. All documents require some form of authentication. What happens more often than not for these three documents is insurers often do a simple OTP authentication. At best, sometimes it's just a checkbox, right? Without an OTP as well. So this process will not work. One, because it's not a signature, right? So for the proposal and the CIS, sorry, the EIA and the CIS, you need a signature, right? IRDAI prescribes signature. And remember what we told you earlier, that where a regulation specifies signature, you can't do an OTP or click wrap. You need an IT Act e-sign, like an Aadhaar e-sign, if you want to do it digitally. For the proposal, of course, this would be valid. It's an authentication after all. But you need an authenticated electronic method with clear evidence. And you need to also be able to ensure that actual authentication is done by the policyholder, that the agent just didn't do it on their behalf. So net is like whether you use an e-sign or whether you use an e-authentication for a proposal, you need that entire flow to have a fully visible, trackable, secure, Evidence Act compliant audit trail, right? Whatever mode you use. With a simple OTP or a simple checkbox, that doesn't happen. So with e-sign process or with a document workflow process, you can actually ensure compliance, make it more secure without actually affecting your operations too much.